Here we are again, let's talk about some Marvel moments or characters or events that have yet to grace the big screen. Or it has graced the big screen, but it just wasn't done any justice. So with the Fantastic Four joining the MCU, I feel like this one's a bit obvious. You know that phase in the 2010s when every hero was fighting another hero for some reason? Of all the matchups we got, we somehow did not get the Thing versus the Hulk. Dude, this is like one of the most iconic Marvel showdowns of all time. We've had like a million interpretations of both of them on screen, and somehow we still haven't seen them fight in live action. What the fuck? Yes, it was because of the Fox ownership thing, but now there's no excuse. We've had lots of animated versions of this fight, but to see this fight on screen in live action, that would be insane. Like change your pants midway movie insane. If you're a logical person, you're probably like, the Hulk is much stronger than the Thing. This will be such a boring fight. Well, that's where you're fucking wrong, okay? It's not about who's stronger between the Thing and the Hulk. It's about how long the Thing can survive against the Hulk. There is no doubt that the Hulk could probably kill the Thing, but you have to understand, this is an underdog story. The Hulk is basically a staple of the Marvel universe. It's what everyone and their mother thinks when it comes to physical strength in Marvel. Then you got this guy who's infused with rocks that makes him strong, but definitely not the Hulk strong. There was that recent fight between them where the Thing had to give it his absolute all to win. That shit was like a Rocky movie. His girl was like, Ben, don't give up, okay? Believe in yourself, you never give up, you can do this. Then in one swing, boom, the Thing knocks out a mind-controlled Hulk. But at that point, the Thing did have rocks falling off him and shit, so you know, it wasn't exactly an easy fight. By the way, I don't know if that was the first time showing what the Thing's skin looks like under those rocks, but that shit looked gross. He looked like that swollen lip challenge, except just everywhere. Anyway, to see these guys go at it in the MCU, there are some issues. One, the size of the Thing. I'm just basing this off the teaser trailer, but he looks pretty damn small. And by small, I mean literally smaller than Ben Grimm pre-transformation. Like, what the fuck? Did the rocks make him smaller? Maybe they'll change it, maybe I'm blind, but for now, the Hulk could just take one step and the Thing would just crumble like a cookie. The second issue, the state of our current Hulk. In case you've forgotten, but I know you haven't because it's been talked about to death, but the Hulk is kind of a little bitch right now. Personality-wise, I mean. Like, he's still strong, I know. His scientist form makes sense in terms of character development and stuff, but you know, if there's gonna be one fight between these two characters, please don't let it be this Hulk. We need Monster Hulk and we need the Thing to go all out to survive. Third issue. I don't really see how this could naturally happen. Maybe in Avengers Doomsday when the Avengers meet the Fantastic Four for the first time. But then again, that'll probably require Hulk to be Scientist Hulk and he'd probably be like, guys, we don't have to fight, okay? This is just one big misunderstanding. My cousin had sex with Daredevil. That ain't the kind of shit I'm looking for, okay? I want an all-out brawl, not some quick misunderstanding. Either way, this is a classic matchup and we better see this on screen. And yes, we did get a glimpse of this in Deadpool and Wolverine, but since we didn't actually see them fight, I'm not gonna count that. Also, yes, I did change out my shirt because I was starting to sweat and I'm going to the gym after, so you know, it works out. Hulk vs. Wolverine might be the only Hulk fight that's more iconic than Hulk vs. the Thing, and for good reason. Instead of Brute vs. Brute, we got Brute vs. Scrappy Violence. Hulk is like the perfect character for Wolverine to fight. He's super strong, he's got regenerative healing, but he can also get stabbed. It's not like if Wolverine fought Superman where his claws will just go ding, ding, ding. Also, Wolverine fighting Hulk was his first appearance. It's pretty crazy how integral this fight is to his character. We already got a pretty good interpretation of this fight in the Hulkverse movies. We get a good violent fight, they help each other out, but things aren't really resolved between them by the end, you know? They're not buddy-buddy. Wolverine and the X-Men also adapted this fight, but I'm pretty sure Wolverine never actually stabs the Hulk because of the children's cartoon rating. Plus, while I do have fond memories of that show, tall animated Wolverine does look a bit weird. Anyway, I know there were rumors of this fight being its own movie, and you know what? I am so down for that. However, this might be a controversial opinion, but I wouldn't want it to be Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Oh, but he's been Wolverine for 25 years. He deserves this. There's no other person who could take up the mantle. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. Shut up. I want this fight to be in the MCU for the long run, okay? Not just when Hugh Jackman retires in 10 years. We need this to be part of Wolverine's story, and that has to be with the MCU's new Wolverine. By the way, I also don't want this to be some one-off fight with no impact whatsoever. So no, I definitely do not want this to be a throwaway sequence Secret Wars so we can be like, oh my god, look, it's the iconic Thing again, ha ha ha. Fuck off, this fight belongs in the forest, no mind control going on, it's just Hulk versus Wolverine on a regular Singular Earth. And yes, that also means getting rid of Smart Hulk. I don't want Hulk to speak complete sentences during this fight. What the fuck? We just be hearing Hulk be like, ow, stop that, ow, okay, ow, let's just talk and ow. Also, just going back to the Hulk vs. Wolverine movie idea, that just sounds like an easy $1 billion. I don't know if they're allowed to make that movie because of the whole Hulk rights thing going on with the movies, but you know, just call it Wolverine something something, okay? It doesn't have to have Hulk in the title. Thor Ragnarok this bitch, I don't care how, but this fight just has to be done right. Anyway, since we're getting the Fantastic Four soon, we might as well get this friendship off the ground. If you didn't already know, Spidey and Johnny Storm are pretty tight-knit pals in the comics. Well, Spidey's actually pretty close with the Fantastic Four overall, but with Johnny Storm in particular because he's the young guy of the team. I mean, Spidey took Johnny's place in the Fantastic Four after Johnny Storm died, okay? That's a pretty insane level of trust. Also, the actors are only like 3 years apart. It wouldn't be that weird, right? So I think this friendship can hit the ground running as soon as they meet. Maybe they have a little scuffle at the beginning, but they end up being bros. One thing's for sure though, MCU Spider-Man is definitely in need for some friends, considering no one knows who the fuck he is anymore. And Johnny Storm will probably need some friends if the Fantastic Four end up migrating to the main MCU. However, Tom Holland did say that he's gonna retire from acting once he has kids, which, you know what? I totally believe that. Just no acting for 10 to 15 years, maybe a cameo here and there like Adrian Brody for the last 10 years. But what I'm trying to say is we probably won't have that much time to marinate in this friendship if this does happen. Also, know that once these two meet on screen, the amount of shipping edits on TikTok is gonna go fucking banana. You'll see a bunch of digital natives be like, actually, Peter could have always been bisexual, okay? They never denied it, you know? And then the fanfics will go fucking crazy. Anyway, I think this could be really fun. Let's see this happen. Listen, I know everyone said it, but I can't help but agree. It's time to put some respect on the Scott Summers name. So this moment's from Joss Whedon's astonishing X-Men run, and you know Joss Whedon, he's been proven to be a weird and indecent guy. But I can't deny that the guy had an eye and brain for writing really good comics. I'm sure everyone's seen these pages and panels at this point, but if you haven't, a rogue Sentinel ambushes the X-Mansion. Kids are getting hurt, there's no Professor X, Cyclops is like to Wolverine and Colossus, yo, pull back, and says, I want this thing off my lawn. A flash of red and the Sentinel is completely decimated. Even Wolverine's like, every now and then, Summers, I remember why you're still in charge. I think a lot of people would agree that this is the most iconic Cyclops moment in recent comics history. Everything about this is badass. The writing, the paneling, the art, oh my god. No, we don't want to see Cyclops simp over Jean Grey for the 10th time, okay? We need to see him as the leader he should be. He's like half Captain America and half Magneto. Do you know how interesting of a character that is? Anyway, obviously we have no idea what's going on with the X-Men in the MCU at the moment. They seem to be drip feeding this shit rather than a hard launch, which I don't know if that's a great idea, but you know, it's not up to me. I just feel like at this point, it's gonna be so long until we see an X-Men team on screen. I mean, Disney's acquisition of Fox was completed in 2019, and we still don't even have an announcement for a regular X-Men team. Like, what the fuck? That's like at least another 5 years away. 2030? Dude, I don't even want to think about how old I'll be by then. Listen, I know Daredevil Born Again hasn't come out yet, but I'm gonna talk about this anyway. So just to quickly recap, Devil's Reign is about Mayor Fisk, aka Kingpin, making superheroes illegal in New York City. Then the heroes learn that Kingpin's using Purple Man's finger to emit a mind control field all over New York, and that's how he's persuading people. So I'm gonna address the obvious, it looks like we're going that way with the Daredevil Born Again show. And based on past rumors, it seems like the next Spider-Man movie is gonna be grounded back in New York City, or it was gonna be another big multiverse story because Sony is constantly making dumbass decisions. And I'm assuming that this Spider-Man movie was gonna be an adaptation of Devil's Reign, which makes sense if you look at the Daredevil Born Again timeline. However, since the current rumors that the next Spider-Man movie is gonna be a multiverse bombastic story, I'm just gonna assume that the MCU's Devil's Reign isn't really gonna live up to the hype of the comic version. Listen, Devil's Reign in the first place is a huge crossover event and there are so many characters. I can see them adapting this like how they did with Civil War, just way smaller and just changing the impact of everything. Let me read out every major player in the comic version of Devil's Reign. Daredevil, Kingpin, Moon Knight, Iron Fist, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, The Thing, Human Torch, Luke Cage, Purple Man, Tony Stark, Dr. Octopus, Ben Reilly, Jessica Jones, Chameleon, Rhino, Abomination, Elektra, Taskmaster, US Agent, and I'm sure there's some I missed. I can't see 80% of the characters working in a potential Devil's Reign storyline in the current MCU context. But again, the Civil War comic had like 100 heroes, and people seem to be okay with like 10 or whatever. They'll definitely have to replace Purple Man's mind control thing because, you know, if you've seen Jessica Jones, it's pretty much not possible. They would have to replace the entire Fantastic Four because I doubt Marvel will be able to afford to pay that cast in a non-Avengers or non-Fantastic Four movie. My worst fear is that they'll somehow Secret Invasion this and, you know, Secret Invasion it, speedrun it without any care and just borrow the name. I mean, this could work with Spider-Man, Daredevil, Moon Knight, and the Defenders, and wow, as I'm saying that out loud, that does sound ambitious. They would have to grab some C-grade villains, and boom, we got a grounded crossover. It would be like how Captain America Civil War was basically an Avengers movie, but still about Captain America with some Iron Man. Devil's Reign could be the same concept, but about Spider-Man with a bit of Daredevil. Speaking of which, what can I say? There's a lot of potential for heroes to meet heroes now. Especially since the Fox characters are back and Sony's playing nice with Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Daredevil are just too iconic together. I don't know where these stinky Deadpool fans came from saying that Deadpool and Spider-Man should get a movie together, but you know, just fuck off, okay? Scrub your pits, you'll stink, bro. We got a little tease of Spider-Man and Daredevil in No Way Home, but we need to see them fight together. Their mutual respect and contrast in personalities. Dude, how could you not want this? They can bond over crime fighting and how everyone they loved growing up is basically dead. That Spider-Man the Animated Series episode with Daredevil is just so goated. That was my first exposure to Daredevil as a kid, and yes, as I'm saying this out loud, I am realizing how biased this inclusion was. That episode also had me convinced that Daredevil just sees everything in red. I don't know either. At least we'll see them together in whatever episode of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I'm praying that episode will be good. Oh my god. So in the MCU, now that Peter lives in the middle of New York City, it will be so easy to write him into a story with Daredevil. And yes, if they meet, it will obviously start with a fight, and if it does, dude, I love Charlie Cox Daredevil and everything, but he would get his ass whooped top to bottom by Spider-Man. With that being said, Daredevil did get an upgrade in abilities and She-Hulk, so you know, he could probably hold his own against Peter for 30 seconds. Can I just say it's criminal that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man never met Ben Affleck's Daredevil? I know they're technically not in the same universe or whatever, but they could have made it work if they wanted to. I just feel kind of mellow when I realize that all these older Marvel movie characters, they just existed in their own bubbles, and that's kind of sad, especially when you compare it to now. Like, you're telling me that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the only superhero on this earth? I mean, it makes the story more believable and more majestic when you watch his movies, but it's still kind of sad. Anyway, we need Spider-Man and Daredevil to team up. Spider-Man's gonna recognize Matt Murdock as his lawyer, and then Spider-Man's gonna have to be like, actually you don't know me because there was a spell that erased everyone's memories and blah 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 blah. And boom, that's all I have for this week. If you haven't seen part 1 already, go check it out. Check out my second channel for random vlogs and videos that end their life. Check out my Instagram, check out my letterbox, and you know what? I'll see you next week. See ya.
10:15 in the open night, I can't help that I feel so lonely. How many times do I have to